Hey guys, Zennosh here, and today in this video of Exos Heroes, I'm here to present you guys with a guide on Unleash Potential, which is one of the most important mechanic in this game that will allow to provide massive stats boost to your hero units. Alright, let's get this started. First of all, you need to go into the Manage Hero section, pick a hero unit that you want his or her potential to be unleashed, and there is gonna be this icon right over here, which you need to click in order to access this page right over here. First of all, you need to understand that in order to unlock this feature right over here, you need to complete at least chapter 10-2 or 10-3 in the story mode in order to access this feature, or else it's not going to be available to you guys. All right, so be careful about that one. And in order to unlock Unleash Potential right now, you need to spend 300 cess for every kind of hero unit out there. Alright, so let's unlock right over here. And he's a fated hero unit out here, so that's why his tree right over here is pretty much limited. And if you are going to look forward for a rare type hero unit, like let's say Jeon right over here, the tree is gonna be much longer, or let's say it's gonna be much larger, because he needs to get those extra stats in order to catch up to the fated heroes as well, because of the penalty in the stats due to the grading system. All right, because he's only a 3-star grade, or let's say a rare type hero unit by default. All right, so he needs to have those extra stats in order to catch up to the fated hero units in terms of stats and other stuffs out there, guys. And it's also will allow him to improve his skill as well. First, this skill was only able to deal 200% damage to one enemy. With the improvement in his skill right over here, it's going to improve his skill by 40% damage increase. That's a 240% total damage to a single target. That's a lot, isn't it? And right over here, guys, this is going to provide him 300% damage increase. That's a lot of boost right over there. And finally, guys, there's gonna be this Unleash Potential effect that will be added to the skill that will allow him to be more effective in the battlefield out there. Reset turn 1 time per round if own mana is under 3 after the skill hits, which is so cool, especially for the arena contents, let alone the PvE story contents. All right, so that is it, guys. And the next best thing about this thing right over here is that, guys, it actually allows you to improve your stats dramatically. For example, let's see right over here. For Ramsey, if you really want to try to improve his attack stats, you can improve his attack stats by a total of up to 750 points per this one node. There's another node as well right over here that's going to provide you another 750 attack stat boost. That means a total of 1500 attack stat boost, if I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, please do let me know in the comment section below. All right, it's also going to improve your combat power boost, which is going to be a really great help if you are really trying to combat against the harder contents out there, because especially in the story contents, there will be a penalty that you are going to receive if your combat power is not really that good. All right, so that is it, guys. And it's going to improve other further stats out there, like block, depending upon what kind of hero that you are trying to upgrade right over here, guys. It's also going to provide that attack speed boost as well, which is a great asset in the Japanese turnier battles. And finally, those skill effects that's going to be added out there, guys. All right, and in order to unlock this kind of nodes, you need to have certain items known as the ultimate orbs, which you can get through various contents in the game, like Haven Shop, or let's say events like Exos Pass, or let's say Core Raid, and I've got a tons of them. All right, so it's not really that hard to get a lot of ultimate orbs out there. For certain other units, we are not fated hero units, like let's say rare unit out here, they are also going to require certain type of items known as the nation tickets or something like that, nation circles. All right, so right away, guys, for this Jeon, we need to get this thing called the Skyhawk Circle, which I will be able to get through the exploration, through the smart exploration or the leafy exploration. Try to get a lot of Skyhawk Circle from there, depending upon the nation where you are trying to do the exploration. Okay, yes, depending upon which nation you are in while doing the exploration, it will dictate what sort of those circles that you are gonna get. All right, so be careful about that one as well, and those are gonna be required in order to unlock these Unleash Potential nodes for the units that are below fated tiers. Okay, for let's say legendary, or let's say rare units, magical, common, blah blah blah, and so on and on. And now the main question is, which hero unit are you really supposed to focus on? Who is the top priority hero units that you need to unleash their potential first? And the answer is you need to focus on generals first, okay? Because they have this thing called synergy effect that depends upon their stats. For example, Jinai is a general unit, and let's see what she can do with her synergy effect, which is known as Charm. Afflicts enemies with lower attack than self with the Charm mark and decrease their attack speed by 30 points, which is so great, especially for the Japanese tenure battles. But the condition is she needs to have higher attack than compared to her opponent, or else this Charm effect will not be applied on the opponent. So that means she needs to have very high attack stat, and for that reason you need to unleash her potential first, especially in terms of the attack stat boost, and she can get a total of 1500 attack stat boost thanks to this node and this node right over here. Alright, so that is the reason why you need to put the general units like Jinai, or let's say even Shufraken right over here. Let's look into his skill right over here, ladies and gentlemen, which is known as this synergy called Fear of Abyss. Adds Fear of Abyss marks to enemies with defense lower than you. That means he needs to have higher defense than compared to his opponents in order for him to effectively apply this mark effect known as Fear of Abyss on the opponents out there, guys. Alright, so that is how it really works. And similarly, it also goes with the Dorka as well, which is the soul bond, which she is going to grant to those allies who has lower attack than herself. That means she needs to have highest attack stat in the team in order for her to apply that soul bond effect to everyone, which is very, very good because it provides passive heal for every turn, and that is so OP, especially in the arena contents, man. It's so good. Okay, so that's the reason why you are supposed to put the generals in the #1 priority list when it comes to unleashing the potential. And for the second priority, focus on your core members, like let's say Fate Core Rera, maybe Fate Core Deva, maybe Fate Core Jion, maybe, or let's say Fate Core Annie over here as well. Alright, and then after that one, it's really totally up to you. Just try to make a good use out of your resources, because the resources that you are gonna get in this game are pretty much limited, like let's say ultimate orbs and the nation circles. Alright, so that is it, guys. And now it's time to start talking about the unleash potential effect, the extra skill effect that's going to be added to your hero units when you have, you know, like maximize the potential right over here, guys. All right, so let's see how does it really work. For now, you can see that my Jinai right over here is of the chaos type unit. Okay, chaos. For the chaos type unit, like let's say Jinai and Dorka, Deva right over here, what's gonna happen is that on their first and the second active skill, they will have this effect: afflicts the target with bind for 2 turns when the attack hits. Bind is that status effect that does not allow the opponent to recover their mana for the indicated number of turns, and that can be really helpful, especially in the Japanese tenure battles, because mana is the way on how you can actually effectively use your skills in the battlefield, right? If you have no mana at all, how are you going to able to utilize your skills in the first place, right? And the bind just does not allow the opponents to recover any kind of mana at all, and that can really have a great impact in the battlefield out there. And same goes with the second active skill as well. But when it comes to like the passive skill effect, there's gonna be this passive effect known as deals additional 1000 piercing damage when attacking enemy. Wow, additional damage is always welcome in order to provide that extra touch and finishing off the opponents, and that is really, really, really important lately, thanks to Dorka being around in the battlefield. Because if somehow your opponent is gonna survive, and if there is a Dorka in the opponent team, man, she is so good at bringing back all the opponents from death to full health. Okay, I'm like near death to full health, not from death because she cannot revive. A near death situation to full health situation, guys. That's how she can heal. And now let's start talking about the other type of hero unit. That's going to be the attack type unit. Alright, so for the attack type unit, what's going to happen is that with their first active skill and the second active skill, what they can do is resets turn 1 time per round if own mana is under 3 after this skill hits. That is great, especially for the Japanese tenure battles. Getting 1 extra turn is massive. That's really awesome. I really do love this personally, guys. And it's not really that hard to fulfill this condition as well, because most of the time the attack type units usually have burst damages, all right? And with that burst damage, they are going to require all the mana they have. They are going to use all the mana they have in order to deal extra damage on the opponents out there. So usually they will end up with 0 mana when they have used their skills, all right? And due to that one, it's not going to be that hard to fulfill this condition right over here. And with this one, definitely you will have much easier time in dominating opponents. And same goes with the second active skill as well, and there's a burst effect thanks to that one. She's going to have 0 mana after using her skills. And right over here, guys, unleash potential effect grants mana to self when the round starts. That is really awesome. Really awesome, guys. Why? Because any kind of extra mana is definitely going to allow them to unleash better damage against the opponents thanks to this burst effect right over here. Any kind of additional mana is going to be utilized very nicely in order to deal extra heavy damage on the opponents out there. And that's going to be for the attack type units. How about for the defensive type units? Like, let's just Shuriken right over here, which can be a little bit different depending upon the amount of mana that's going to be consumed, okay? For example, for this Shuriken right over here, he's actually going to increase his own defense for 5 turns by 10% of own defense. Oh, wow. There we go, guys. All right. This is actually quite good because, like, he needs a lot more defense. And with extra defense out there, definitely he's going to have easier time in imposing that fear of abyss on the opponents, right? Because he has that synergy effect known as the fear of abyss. Okay, so there we go. And same for the second active skill, it's a different, deals additional 75% of own defense when the attack hits. Okay, so usually the defensive type units are going to use certain portion of their defense stats in order to deal extra heavy damage on the opponents out there, and it's 75%. All right, because the mana requirement right over here is 5, and I think it's like 15% per 1 mana required. So 15 times 5, that's 75%, right? If it was 4 mana, that would have been 60%. So that's how the mathematics work. And the next thing is going to be his passive skill effect right over here, guys. Unleash potential effect. Reduces all allies damage by 15%. That is so good, man. So good. I mean, like, it's a little bit grammatical error, I would say, because, like, any kind of incoming damage against the opponents is gonna be reduced by 15% for all the allies. That is it, guys. Grammatical errors, man. Grammatical errors. Okay. Let's talk about the another unit right over here, defensive unit. That's going to be Ulum. You can see right over here that, like, he's going to deal additional 60% of own defense when the attack hits, because he's going to require 4 mana. 15 times 4, that's 60%, right? And how about for his, like, lost skill right over here? 75% of own defense, because 5 mana is being used. 15 times 5, that's 75%, isn't it? And for his passive effect right over here, reduces all allies damage by 15%. So there we go, guys. That's for the defensive units. And now let's move on to our final type of unit. That's going to be the support types. Okay, let's look into them, guys. So when you are going to look on them, you can see that they are able to provide this grant status effect immunity one time to self and can't be stacked, and that can be quite helpful, guys. As a support unit, definitely they need to provide very good utilities for the team, and if they are under the status effect like shock, silence, stun, or whatever that is, they will not be able to work or function properly. So status effect immunity, really good, guys, really good. But only for 1 turn only, that is so bad, guys. Just for 1 time. Oh, 1 time it is, not for 1 turn. It's 1 time. That means, like, it's gonna be out there, all right? It's gonna be out there until it's gonna be consumed. So I would say it's good. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of misreading from myself. How about this another skill? Well, instead of providing utility to the team, like providing 2 mana and other stuffs out there, now what she is going to do is that she is actually going to deal damage against the opponents. What if a support unit is going to deal damage against the opponents? At that time, she will deal additional 12% of own maximum health damage when the attack hits. Wow, that's great, isn't it? Meaning, like, as a support unit, definitely she needs to have a lot of HP, and if she has higher the HP, more the damage she is actually going to deal her with nuke damage. 525% damage plus 12% of own maximum health. That's a lot of damage that you are going to deal against the opponents out there, and aided with the signature force, man, she is going to be deadly. And looking into her, this passive effect right over here, guys, overtime effect, reduces the damage against all allies by 30%, can't be stacked. Okay, so there we go, guys. Wow, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage reduction, guys. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, how about for this unit right over here? Even though, like, she's a chaos type unit, she has this one, you know, what do you call this, support type effect. And let's look into our first active skill. Yes, increases all allies attack by 27% chance. As a chaos unit, she is actually supposed to inflict that bind status effect on the opponent, right? But what if it's a support skill? Increases own attack speed by 30 points for 2 rounds. Wow, that's good. Having that 30 points attack speed is definitely a bonus, which will really help her to gain her next turn really fast, and to come up with her nuking damage really fast as well. So, well, I would say that's a really great bonus right over there, guys. Anyways, that is it, guys. That is all I have to say to you guys. If you have any questions regarding the potential unleash potential effect out here, if you have other things to really, like to get tutored about, or you want to have a guide about, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will really try my best in order to come up with those kind of contents out there as soon as possible. And thanks for watching this video, guys. If you really did like my video, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I would be really happy about that one, and see you guys in the next video.